Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. It's a beautiful day here in Youngstown. Certainly speaks well to the beauty within each one of us, knowing that we have that wonderful spiritual presence that enlightens ourselves, helps with others, and brings evolution to our species. Just a joy to be with you here this morning. Let me invite you to two events. The first one tonight, Bob Dove from Pittsburgh will be doing his testimonial. I encourage you to join us from 6 to 7:30 this evening. And then secondly, tomorrow evening, Monday, our meditation. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience for many. And I certainly invite you to join us from 7 to 8 tomorrow evening. I also want to put in a little plug for my book, What They Know, 10 Insights from the Other Side. I truly believe that it's the pathway forward. It's our next step in our evolution. I hope you'll have a chance to purchase the book and to really absorb its contents. It's very, very powerful. I know that it's going to be very helpful to many. Today's talk might be helpful to many as well. Let's begin. Last week, I focused on the teaching of the primacy of love, which I truly believe is the natural state of our being once we move beyond the noise of the world. The teaching culminated in the beautiful, inspiring words of Jesus from A Course in Miracles when he said ever so clearly, "Teach only love, for that is what you are." I believe that we are able to achieve this state and to hold it consistently as our all the time sense of self, with a little guidance, with mutual support, helping each other, and certainly with a little work on our parts. Thus, the theme of today's teaching is the power of love. Again, I encourage you to take the appropriate time and maybe some even notes today that will help each one of us to know this not only primacy of love, but the power that truly rests within us. Let's begin. Again, I would like to start today with a personal experience, then focus on where love is not found, focus on where it is found, and then conclude with 3 practical applications. First, my experience. Several years ago, someone just casually asked me a question, but the question caught me off guard for a moment because I had really never thought about it before. But the answer was even more surprising to me for 2 reasons. The first one, the answer came immediately to me without me having to think about it. And secondly, the answer is just as true today as it was several years ago. The question was, what do you do for fun? Now, honestly, the question really caught me off guard. But my answer, which came immediately to me, kind of surprised me as well. Again, the question, what do you do for fun? My answer was, honestly, this is what I said, I meditate. I meditate for fun. It was the immediacy of the answer that truly surprised me. I didn't have to think about it. It was very clear to me that the most fun I have is to go within, to focus on the inner presence. It's always satisfying. It's always happy. It's most me. I meditate. I go within. Over the years, my notion of fun has simply grown with the practice of going within, primarily in meditation, but at many other times as well. I'm just the happiest when I go within. I feel better. I see things more clearly. Going within is the funnest thing that I do, honestly and truly. A brief follow-up. Many people in our groups often ask me, don't you ever get tired of doing so many weekly meetings, now numbering around 14 a week? My response is no. I don't get tired of the meetings because the substance of each meeting always focuses on the inner you, the inner me. And such a focus on the inner me is, again, quite honestly, what gives me the most fun, the most pleasure in life. I leave each meeting, sometimes 3 in a day, with a sense of a higher inner vibration. I do the meetings because they provide the most fun in my life. I know that for many of you, the meetings are providing more and more of the most fun in your life. The other things just don't quite measure up. So with this experience of fun in mind, let me now focus on the power of love. As I said in last week's teaching, the power of your love, the power of your love directly corresponds to the primacy of love in your life. Thus, it is so very important to know where to look for the power of your love. There are 2 places that most people look, which will never give them what they're looking for. It'll never give them what they're hoping to find. The first place of not finding, and still where most people look, is looking outside of themselves and trying to find that love in a relationship, in a job, in money, in the good life, or a combination of all of them. Many of you have clearly come to see the temporary happiness that such living has, only to eventually become somewhat disappointing in your own life circumstances, because the changing circumstances of your life eventually fade, well, into a desire for more things. So perhaps you try again for that perfect relationship, that perfect job, more money, a better life. They pretty much, in a sense, all resort in the very same thing, namely a disappointment, a failure to find what you're looking for. As the song sometimes says, we look for love in all the wrong places, namely outside of ourselves in the world. There is a second tempting, but also disappointing place to look for love. And that is to look for love from your own inner world. From your own inner world. What makes you happy, but from a limited human personality self. Again, people, in a sense, when they try to look for love within themselves, they then kind of hear that question that kind of nags them. Are you happy? Are you really happy? Some people respond by saying, well, kind of happy, because no one really wants to admit that they're not happy. But internally, when you look within to the little personality self, the result is the same as the external seeking. The person ends up dissatisfied because the little you can no more give you happiness than the external you. Let me just say that again. The inner you, the small little personality self, can no more give you happiness than the external you. Thus, one must refocus. And this is what many of us have done. We have gone further within. We have gone beyond the little me and have moved to that bigger sense of self. We've moved to that bigger sense of self that is connected now to our God Spirit. We have learned to go within. We have learned to enter the silence. We have learned to allow our being to speak to us. We have learned consciously that when our being speaks, it speaks of the primacy of love. We know the truth of Jesus's words. Teach only love, for that is indeed what you are. We know that when we apply love, it works in every situation. We know that the only thing that feels right is love, and it feels right all the time. For some of us, for many of us, and certainly for myself, we've come to understand that love is what we now do for fun. We go within, find the vibration of love. It's the most fun we have in life. From this primacy of love as our sense of self, we are now able to live in the power of this love. So let me suggest to you 3 practical reasons as to why we are able to live in this power of love. The first reason why we're able to live in this love is, I think, it's become too uncomfortable not to live in this love. It's just too uncomfortable not to be in this vibration. Whenever you are tempted to become snarky, snitty, or drift into a lower energy, you quickly realize that you are disappointing yourself. You realize that, well, you're not just being true to yourself. You quickly realize that life is not about what others are doing to you. It's not about what the world is doing to you, but rather what you are doing to yourself. And it's no longer fun. I caution you to watch what I call drifting in your life. Drifting away from daily meditation. Drifting away from your true self. Drifting into the snarls of life because you have drifted away from your center. No one has to tell you this anymore. You know when you are drifting. You know when you're cruising for the proverbial bruising. It's just too uncomfortable not to love. Heck, it's no fun not to love. Let's now address the second practical consideration of learning to live with the power of love. The second consideration is dealing with others with a few twists and turns. Many of you have said that you are doing pretty well when you just have to deal with yourself. It's kind of easy, at least, to keep yourself in line. The hard part is dealing with others and your life circumstances. True. Let's first address dealing with others, especially when they seem to say or do hurtful things to you. And let's consider such comments from 2 perspectives. The second being the more important of the 2. But here's the first one. Most of you know by now that when a person has made a hurtful comment, unprovoked by you, while you might get hurt for a moment, you realize that such people are really hurting themselves. Hurtful people say and do hurtful things. You understand this. They are simply stuck in their own drama, and they do not need defensive or offensive comments from you to complicate their drama. As the Course in Miracles states very beautifully, these hurtful comments are simply cries for love and union. I applaud so many of you who have come to understand this. And less you take things personally. You're just not caught anymore in dramas that come from others. Well done. But it's the second aspect that is more important. It concerns the law of allowing. The law of allowing in the wonderful book by the Hickses entitled The Law of Attraction. In essence, the law of allowing states that each soul is on its own journey. Each soul is on its own journey, learning the lessons necessary for that soul's development. Thus, I believe that we are now recognizing this essential law of allowing. We are acknowledging that each soul is growing itself, just as your soul is advancing in your experiences of life. Accepting the law of allowing is such an important understanding of life. Much, if not most, of what another is experiencing has nothing to do with you. Just as much of what you are experiencing has nothing to do with others. The other is simply the background, the venue, the foil for you to learn your lessons. And oftentimes you are the background, the venue, the foil for another to learn their lessons. This is a big understanding. Learning this lesson is such an important practical aspect of the power of love. With this understanding, we realize that we are now helping each other rather than antagonizing each other. Such is the power of love, which knows its place in the soul development of others, as well as of ourselves. We know our place in the development of others, just as we know their place in our own development. This was big. We are now ready for the third practical aspect of the power of love. This third aspect is the beautiful lesson taught by those who returned from their near-death experience with this absolutely important twofold message. The first part of their message was, love reigns supreme in the there, beyond earth life. Love reigns supreme in the there, where you will pass into. You know this, but oftentimes the noise of your present life situations gets in the way. Thus, it's very important to know the second lesson taught by the near-deathers. This was their second lesson. What you take with you when you pass from here on earth to the there is the love that you have. What you take with you is the love that you presently have. This love is experienced by way of your thoughts and your emotions and your sense of self. This is what you take with you, your thoughts, your emotions, your sense of self. What you take with you is your love. Or stated in another way, what you take with you is your state of consciousness. Not your body, not your possessions, but you. You take you with you. You take you with you. Now, here's the point. We can live this life of love right here, right now. Do you not see that this power of love is a present power that we have? Because it is who we are. I am happy to say that this beautiful formula of life is the basic premise of my new book, What They Know, 10 Insights from the Other Side. I highly encourage you to keep this book handy, perhaps on your coffee table, and to read it again and again. It contains the fuller message of these last two teachings, the primacy of love and the power of love. In conclusion, I feel that these last two teachings on the primacy and power of love are indeed foundational for our present lives, and they are truly the evolutionary pathway of humanity and of the planet. Please listen to these last two teachings again and again until they become you. Love God with all of your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love that neighbor as yourself. Do everything with love. And whatever arises, love that. And teach only love. For that is what you are. Let me now take you into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. Let's begin as we normally do by simply focusing on the breath, allowing the breath to come into us, feeling its calming presence, and allowing the breath to do what it does, to calm the body, settle the mind, and bring your soul to the fore. Please begin. And just notice how easy it is, especially in this venue with other mighty souls, to enter into the love, the peace, the calmness that is within you. May you just simply acknowledge this peace, this calmness right at this moment. Are you noticing that whenever we come together with others, mutually supporting, helping each other, how much easier it is to come into this vibration, not just of inner peace, but a vibration of love? This is a compliment to you in the work that you have done on your own, but it's also a compliment to our group for providing this larger Sangha energy, which makes our presence even more expansive. Would you simply pat yourself on the back for the good you've done, and also extend your appreciation to everyone on the call right at this moment? Now let's enjoy ourselves. Let's have some fun. Would you first of all just acknowledge how good you feel? Just right now, right at this moment. You've gone within, and there is this conscious presence, this joy that kind of is bubbling up within you. Would you simply acknowledge that? Ah, yes, this is nice. This is fun. Feel that loving spiritual presence within you. And then you ask yourself, well, isn't this the way you want to always be? Don't you want to be in this vibration? Obviously, the answer is yes. But would you also entertain this question? Is not this becoming the way that you are? Wherever we have been in the past, where we are right now, right at this moment, and what we are able to maintain, is the conscious vibration of love. Would you simply accept this as your sense of self? Now, may I suggest 3 things for our consideration? The first one, it's no fun not being in this energy. Just no fun when you're not in this energy. Everything can be great in your life or not so great in your life. But the missing element would be whether you're in this vibration. It's no fun when you're not. The second point, you understand the importance of not drifting, or the consistency of going within. This is such an important thing. As we do so, as we stay consistent, and do not drift. We realize two very important things. First one, we can bring this power of love into our daily activities. It's the way we're showing up. It's nice to be able to model this love and to allow it to be present. No push, no shove, no force, just consciously aware. And then there's that second part of holding this love, realizing the part we play in the lives of others, both past and present. We understand that each soul is moving in its own growthful path. We provide backgrounds, foils, venues for people to come to know who they are. And they are the same for us as we come to know who we are. This law of allowing for others and for ourselves. Wow. Wow. Knowing our rightful place in the soul development of others, as well as in ourselves. And then that third teaching, such an important one that the near-deathers brought to us, not just that love reigns supreme in the there, that we bring to the there what we are here. Here, we are preparing for the there. That's why the transition will be easier and easier for us. We are living there, here.
Deep within, peace resides, faith abounds, and love abides. The light shines bright to illumine love without, love within. I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. When you are where you need to be, within that space, I honor thee. Seen through eyes of illusion, seen through spirit, we are one. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor
Well, I hope you have a lot of fun today. I suspect we've had a lot of fun already. We've gone within and know the primacy and the power of love. Namaste.